everyone, Silly here, and what you're seeing right on your screen right now is a map of Streets of Tarkov made by Jindoos, and hopefully I'm saying that right, that I pulled from the wiki or Reddit actually, and basically modified to give you an entire loot map of streets. I've given each of these locations a PvP score and a loot score. The PvP score is essentially how often you'll run into other players when looting these areas, and the loot score is, well, it describes itself. It's how great the loot is at these locations. The ultimate purpose of this video is to give you a solid idea of where the loot is, and for you to be able to craft your own loot route no matter where you spawn on the map, because you know where all the loot is. You'll be able to judge which areas you would like to loot. Maybe if you're running low on money, perhaps the lower PvP score areas would be better for you. Or if you like PvP and loot, you can go to all the highly trafficked areas and have a blast that way. Anyways, now I'm going to get into an in-depth guides on each of these locations in Raid, so I can show you where all the loot actually is, and then we'll return to this map at the end of the video. We'll talk a little bit more about why the PvP score is why it is. So the first looting spots we'll be talking about today is the Concordia Appartments. And this looting location is only really viable if you have the following keys. Of course, you can loot here. There are things that you can pick up, but I wouldn't recommend putting this in your loot route if money is your focus, if you don't have the keys. Luckily, though, that these two keys I'm about to show you right here, which is the Concordia 34, Apartment 34, and the Concordia 64, are very cheap. I believe I got the 34 key for around just around 50k, and the 64 key is a little more expensive, however still extremely obtainable. This thing was only about 150k, and they're both extremely worth it. So I think the first one I'm going to be taking you today is the 34 key, and then we'll do the 64 key. Right over there is the massive crane, of course, and just down that way is towards, you know, the industry stuff over there. So let's go in here. You can go through the front door, but it's much faster to just shoot a hole through the window here and jump through the glass. Now we're going to go up to the third floor. Let's go ahead and do that. Once we're up here, this door spawns closed, but I've already opened it. So just walk into this door here. You're going to take a right once you're on the third floor, and the door you're looking for is at the end of this small, you know, yellow lit hallway. I guess you can tell there's a cat right there. Let's go ahead and unlock this. There we go, perfect. So in this room, of course, we didn't get the luckiest spawns here, and some of that is just due to being an offline raid. You'll find loose, valuable loot. So you have a gold chain here, very nice. And around the bed and or on it, you can find things like bitcoins, you know, streamer items, things like that. So a very valuable room to check. After you looted this room, you can come around and check these areas here. This is a good room for ration spawns. Sometimes you can get a sugar in here, which is nice. And if you run all the way down here at the end, you have a sports bag, and you have more chances for food spawns over here. Again, you're probably looking for those sugars. They're not as expensive right now in the wipe, but later in the wipe, they'll be a lot more expensive. And after that, you have one last room, which is like it's like an office room. And you can get some tech items on the desk, or there is a computer right here. Just keep in mind that you're basically standing in this window and everyone can see you when you're looting that computer. But anyways, now let's exit this apartment building, because I'm going to show you the next room that we're going to be going to. So let's run down here, all the way back down the way we came. Out the window. Perfect. Just had to shoot it there, because the next apartment is going to be in, a little bit of lag there, building 3. So we entered building 1 for the 34, I think it was room 34, right? Now we'll be entering building 3 for 64, which is one of these corner buildings here. So let's go in. I will point out right here you have a dead scab, which is one of the S tier looting containers, so you might as well hit this dead scab. Could get some good armor, ammo, and what have you in there. After that, very simple. I believe this door might be closed. Actually, both of these doors are closed. We just had to open them. So once you hit the top of the staircase, the door you're looking for is literally right here, 64. The first door you see. So let's go ahead and give this an open. Once in here, we have a chance for good ration spawns in here. The room you are mainly going to be looking for is this one on your left. And that's because all on these couches here and all around this bed and on it, you can get a bunch of valuable spawns. It's very common to find bitcoins here, gold chains, rollers, all that fun stuff, golden eggs. We didn't get the best roll of the dice on this instance, and perhaps that's because it's an offline raid, but I shit you not, you'll find like all sorts of gold items in this room. So very nice room to loot. I don't think we have much going on here. Oh yeah, actually, this one other key that I have with me here is I think it's this one, the 64 office key. So it's mainly to be used in conjunction with the 64 key, obviously. And in here, we get access to slightly more tech spawns. So where this cord is, there's another spawn here. There's a spawn right there. All those cords could be graphics cards. And then we have a PC block here. So if you want to combine this room with the office key, it's good. I believe the office key is extremely cheap, under 100,000 at the time of this recording. So if you have these keys, which I highly recommend you do because they're very cheap, I would certainly add Concordia as a nice staple to your loot runs on Streets. Next on our list, we have the crane area. An area essentially full of weapon box spawns, toolboxes, and even some grenades, stuff like that. So we are here on top of this box. The Concordia is just that way, and the Sparja is just that way. And down there is towards the, which extract is it? It's the scab checkpoint extract just over there. Okay, so we have a lot of looting locations here to talk about. We have, I don't think this crate is anything. Yeah, no. I hate that they have some crates that look like crates, but they aren't crates. Anyway, let's go to the front here. So let's start with, we have a hidden stash just over there. As you can see, we're getting some major frame drops whenever we ADS for some reason. So we have some stash over there. We have 2 toolboxes this way. We have a grenade case that way. We have a weapon box right here. Then let's get into the crane section where we'll find a bunch more loot. Go ahead here. So right up the front, we have a dead scav, another toolbox just right there, a toolbox over here, 2 weapon boxes. Both of these are actually lootable. Yep, just can confirm that there. Then as we head up to the second floor, we'll have another grenade case right there, another weapon box that way. Continue to walk around the outskirts of this building. We have another weapon box right there. A good MG if you really wanted to operate it. This could defend you from the Concordia spawns, because you know there's going to be some players spawning probably in the car garage in Concordia. So if you really wanted, you could potentially cheese them with that. We have another weapon box this way. I believe this is lootable. Is this a technical supply crate? Oh, this is just a toolbox. Interesting. So you have a big wooden toolbox, not a technical crate or anything like that. And that just about covers it for the crane area. Very condensed, but very open. So you gotta be a little careful. Excuse me. Gotta be a little careful when looting here. I will also say while I'm up here, there is a red duffel bag just in that way. Here we have our first, I would say, discrete looting location. Not in terms of like where it is on the map. As you can see, there is the car dealership right there, the middle of the map right there, and the theater is just down that way there. And there's the car extract. It's not discreet in terms of where it is because this is a pretty heavily trafficked area. However, a lot of people don't enter this building. They'll go to the car dealership or beyond and they won't really check here. So it's discreet in terms of there's still probably loot here, if you scav in type of thing. So let's enter. This door does spawn closed. We just had to open it up here. So first left, we have a bunch of loose hideout items you can find there, nuts and bolts, that sort of thing. And you have a filing cabinet right here. You also have some loose loot on the desk. Next thing we're gonna take a left, walk all the way in. We have more loose loot here, another filing cabinet here. This is a very good spot for meds, so we have 2 Slaywas right here, very good, of course, if you're looking for that Slay level quest. And we have a med box, and then we'll have a bunch of loose loot all throughout the tables here. And of course, more filing cabinets. So you can even loot these ones that are tipped over. So don't let that fool you. So amazing loot spot for the filing cabinet loot, for loose loot here on top of in this box. You can get some ammos and stuff like that. Again, all throughout these tables, you have some more loose loot chances, and you have a duffel here. Then we can go upstairs. Let's do that. Go up here. Go upstairs. First door on our right. After going upstairs, we have 2 more filing cabinets and then more desks, which have a chance to spawn more loose loot. I believe right here is an ammo box, so you can check the ammo box if you want. And all around, a pretty good spot to loot 2 more filing cabinets. And filing cabinets are better. They can spawn some tech items, lab key cards, just the regular white ones that are essentially for your like admin fee to enter it. But a good, nice little building if you aren't necessarily looking to go to some of the more well-known areas like the car dealership. Okay, so next up, of course, we have the Lexos, the car dealership. A great spot for loot and a great spot to kill players if that's something you're into. So let's go ahead here. The theater district is just that way. There's the smaller yellow building we were just looting. They have the Concordia, the bridge extract. The car extract is just down there. The middle of the map is just that way. So let's go ahead and enter this car dealership. I believe, no, we have to go to an exit at one of these corners. Let's go here. So once in here, there's all sorts of items you can be grabbing here. So there'll be loose loot in terms of bullets, ration spawns, weapon attachments everywhere. So this table area is good for ration spawns. Then if we walk towards this way, you'll start seeing a bunch of weapon crates. I believe they are all upstairs. Let's go ahead and run up this way. So up here we'll have weapon crates. There's one there. And you'll also have some med spawns. So med spawns can spawn on the couch, right where, as you can see, we have an IFAK right there. We have a duffel bag, a very good looting container, vitamins right here. So check all of these services for med spawns. Over here, you're going to start getting into some of your weapon spawns, bullets, ammos, attachments, that sort of thing. We have weapon box there, weapon box there. We have a duffel bag there. You can get med attachments over here in this small area. Another weapon box there. We have to loot. Back here, we have something, a locked off area. It requires 2 keys, actually. The dealership director's key and the closed section key. Now, this area back here is essentially full of weapon boxes. Now, of course, one of the 2 keys, I think it's the closed section key, is barter only. It's very valuable, and therefore I can't get my hands on it because the barter keys are extremely expensive. Requires things like Twitch rivals, armbands, and stuff like that to get, which would be very hard to find. But if you do have the director's key, is only like 50 or something K because it requires that closed section key. I might be getting this backwards, but regardless, one of those keys, if you have both of them, an amazing spot to check. A great place to add to your loot run. If you have access to those keys, you'll find millions, okay, but a lot of weapon boxes. I think there's like 7 or 8 weapon boxes over there. So very good spot. Now we're into the connected section, the kind of like the camp. You can see like the bear camp. I think it's the bear icon if I'm not mistaken. But regardless, on this barrel, You have a weapon box here all along this. We can even see we have some painkillers underneath the bench, so keep an eye out for that. Those looting locations. All meds here. You can find meds right here on the couch. You have a duffel bag there. You have to love the duffel bags. Do not leave them unchecked. They can spawn amazing items. You can get loose loot in these weapon boxes. Up there, you can jump up and loot that weapon box. Up there, let's see what this is. This is just a loot. Oh no, technical supply crate. Sorry, I had an FPS counter blocking it. So you had a technical supply crate just down that way. And here, the very sexy looking, well, not when I shot my light on it, but in this box you have more food ration, med spawns, and you have a duffel bag down this way. In this section you have a car dealership, so up here you can get some hideout items. As you can see, we have 2 bulbs here. This is also a great spot to find the car batteries if you're still checking for that for the therapist quest, both on those shelves and on these shelves right here. Now we can run upstairs here. Let's go ahead and do that. I've never found anything in here other than the duffel bag, so you can come and check that duffel bag if you like. I would. I love duffel bags. Another duffel bag over here, and then all of these chairs and services have a chance to spawn some ration spawns. These blue shelves continue to spawn hideout items and things like that. So you can check all these tables here. Occasionally you'll get some like fleece aramids and stuff like that as well. Let's enter back into the camp part, or I'll show you the rest, because we have more shipping containers. We have an ammo container here and some various weapon attachments on this table. This item, this door, I should say right here, is the cargo container mesh door key. Not too expensive to get. I don't happen to have it with me right now, but it's a nice little room because it has a grenade case there and then 2 weapon boxes. So a decent key, not too expensive, should be under 100k on the flea for you. We have another weapon box right there, and then we'll have some more weapon attachments on this desk. Let's continue to the back side of the camp now. Again, there's a lot of loot here, as you can tell. So all these tables, good ration spawns. You can get some sugars and stuff like that. And here, in this weapon storage container, I should say, we have more ration spawns. This is more of a kitchen container. And then back here at the other end, we came in just that way through the car dealership. We'll have some more, this is more of a kitchen slash hideout item container. So we'll have hideout items can spawn on that surface, then you have a weapon box in here. Under here we have a medical room. It's always good to check this one. I'm not sure why it won't let me in. Okay, there we go. I had to wiggle a little bit. On these surfaces and on the ground, all where this blood is, on these chairs, you can find great medical items, golden stars, injectors, of course. I believe this is a medical crate. Yes, this is a medical supply crate, so you can get things like, you know, well, what I basically previously said, injectors, your good painkillers like your ibuprofens. You can even get lead X's through these. A lot of people don't know that. If you get really lucky, you can get lead X's through that. Let's go ahead and walk ourselves out here towards the back. We're basically towards the end of the camp now. We have these 2 stack containers, are basically the last ones we're going to check. This one is full of weapon containers and even med spawns. So med spawns will be here. Then you have weapon attachments. Hideout items can spawn anywhere on those shelves there, in this box, and right here. We even have a grenade case at the end. A jacket, very good. Supply of keys. If you're still looking for keys, you might as well check your jackets. You'll never know when you find a tape key or something like that. Very good for quests. And then up here you'll have weapon attachments and stuff like that. You can even get some ration spawns. We have a Wilson's right there. So this just sums up the car dealership area. A great area, but you're definitely gonna have to fight for it. It's not gonna come for free. Let's just see what this weapon, what this box is. This is a technical supply crate back here. Nice. But yeah, it's definitely not gonna come for free. you'll probably see a person or two when you're looting this place. So it's good to get in, loot what you can, and get out. The next place we have on our list is in the middle of the map. It's right outside the car dealership, which is just down that way. The theater district is down that way. And right over there is the start of the Primewood Hotel. And this is where you'll see these like crashed trains, streetcars, all these jeeps, and you'll find these dead scabs everywhere. This is like unironically one of the best places on the map to loot, and that's because it's full of dead scabs, military loot, and weapon boxes. The only problem with this place is that it's literally in the open. But we have a dead scav here, we have a dead scav there, we have weapon boxes here. Inside these weapon boxes could be all types of weapon attachments, military loot. This is a great place to find those like OBZ shells, those like APC shells, or their tank shells. I'm not sure which one. The quest that's proper, the proper gives you when he gives you the military tank battery and the shells. So the tank shells can be littered all throughout this space. There's another dead scav that way. All throughout these bodies here, you can see a med container. You'll see a stretcher. There'll be all assortments of medical loot littered throughout. So we have a propulsol there, we have an augment in there. Let's see, find more dead scavs. Weapon box there. I believe there's another weapon box this way, if I'm not mistaken. Take a look. Yeah, so there's a weapon box right there. Then we have just down this way, we have two more dead scavs. Again, dead scavs are S tier loot boxes, and that's because they can spawn some of the most valuable items in the game, like your highest tiers of armor, ammos, weapons, attachments, and all those sort of good things. So you have a dead scav there, dead scav there. You have a weapon box. Actually, this one might not be lootable, we can't. But you have a weapon box right there. In front of this Jeep here, right here, can spawn military items. So like expensive, like wireless transmitters, all those like expensive items you're kind of used to finding on Lighthouse can spawn right in here. So check the front of this car. Then right up here, we have a larger green weapon box. I believe this is an ammo box. This is an ammo box. Can you loot that weapon box? No, but you have another ammo box here. And then you have a keyed door here. I actually haven't been able to figure out which key opens this, but if you guys know which key opens this, let us know in the comments, please. And here we have two weapon crates, so another good spot if you have the key. But the back of this is even full of ammo boxes and a green weapon box. So this is an amazing place to loot. It's extremely dense. So next on our list, we have the Sparja grocery store. Now, here we are. This is the right outside the crane area is just over there. Concordia is just down that way, as you can see. And the car dealership, the Lexos, is literally right there. And then down there is the middle of the map. So let's go into the front of the Sparja here. And in here, you'll find a good amount of ration spawns on all of these containers. So you'll want to be looking throughout the shelves for things like the milk, the condensed milks. If you need food, of course, this is always a good spot to come. You'll want to be looking for sugars, the more valuable food items. You have a med box that's just going to be right here. And then if we actually make our way to the back, this area is where you'll find some hideout items. So in here, you want to be looking on the shelves for things like nuts and bolts, or any of the hideout items that you're looking for. These blue shelves can store some. These blue shelves can all have some hideout items. Then you'll start getting some toolboxes here. So there's a toolbox down there. There's a weapon box in the back of this truck there. Then there's another weapon box right here. We can open this back door. And then as we enter the back door, towards there is the camp out the backside of the backside of the Lexos, the car dealership. And then over here, we're back inside. So this is a neat little place. Not the most densely packed place, but a good place a lot of people don't check. So if you're late in the raid or you scabbed in, the Sparja can be a decent spot to hit up for loot. So the next place we'll be talking about is like a sequence of apartment buildings here in this like courtyard area. So I'm standing here because this place might be a little more recognizable than the others. There's the Sparja just down there. There's the crane section just down there. And over that way is towards the scav checkpoint extract with the turret area. So about halfway through running from the crane to the scav checkpoint, you'll see this grassy area. And we're going to take our first right here. I guess you'll be the last left if you're coming from that area. And we're going to be running up alongside this wall until we find this door. I believe it's this one right here, the gray door in the middle. So let's go ahead and open up this. Okay, yep, perfect. So here we are. This room is, I mean, it's amazing. It's not going to come free. You might see some traffic around here, but it's amazing. So right out the gate, we have very good weapon and ration spawns here. The coffee is great. SCP bullets are great. I'm going to walk inside here. Here we go. And this place is loaded. So there's going to be things, all sorts of great looting spots everywhere. So we have a thermite here. Actually, this is a mayo. We have good ration spawns here. You can get rations in here or very valuable, I've even seen valuable tech in here. So you can get like thermites, you can get good stuff like here. You have good ration spawns, mayo. So look for your sugars in this way. Then as we keep coming through, we'll have good hideout items littered throughout the ground up here. On these chairs here, you have a cabinet here, a weapon box right there. Let's go ahead and jump through. On this table, you can get graphics cards, so very expensive tech items on there. Throughout the bed, they can be on the shelf. They can be right here in that last section there. Dead scav here, always loot dead scavs, part of your S tier looting pile. Valuables can spawn on this shelf. We have a teapot right here. That's some fat money. Right here where this relay is can be graphics cards, so more tech items on these desks. You have a computer in there. Let's keep going. You can have you have a vodka right here. I think this can be a moonshine, so watch out for that. Then you have some very good medical items. You can get injectors on this. Golden Stars ibuprofens are some of your best ones. You have more luxury items can spawn on this shelf. So again, we've already hit up some amazing spawns and we're not even halfway done yet. We have fleece spawns up here. Very good ration spawns. Be looking for those sugars. But you can also get tech spawns. These could be graphics cards or other expensive hideout items. Then you have more ration spawns. A lot of fleece this time we got on this roll. We have a sausage right there, so if you're looking for that for the Jaeger quest, by all means, go ahead and take that. Let's go to the back end. This place is full of meds. So Augmentin, we have a med box here. This will be full of hideout items. Over there, you have a duffel bag right there. Let's go to the last section. So more hideout items in here. You have a jacket here, and I believe you can get some additional med spawns on the ground littered throughout here. So this is amazing. Not even done yet. There's a whole lot more to this building. So I believe this is a staircase right here. Perfect. Yeah, so let's go up here to the second floor. Second floor, let's open this up. We'll find even more great med spawns. So we have, in this room, you have very good ration spawns and med spawns. So squash is good for the barter, for the food case barter, Augmentin there. Check all these beds. Then you have more rations on the floor, on this sofa, and then on this table. So very nicely packed room there for us. A lot of these doors aren't openable. There's another keyed area I want to point out on the second floor, and that's just beyond this like rubble here with the glow stick. So if you actually duck under that and you crawl your way over to this last door on your right here, just beyond the light, right here is the Check 15 room. Now this could actually be one of the best looting rooms on the map. Inside here is just all types of high value spawns in terms of military and things like streamer items and gold chains, stuff like that, littered throughout the floors and surfaces. Now, unfortunately, I don't have this key, and that's because it's barter only, and it requires, it also requires, or a quest requires it, so it's very valuable and hard to get. But if you have the check 15 key, come over here and open this door and grab all that juicy loot. It's a very good room to check. So after that ration room, we have this bicycle room here. You can find loose weapon attachments. I've seen weapon attachments. I've seen ammo up on here. A tech item spawn on the desk right there. Let's go ahead back here. I don't believe there's anything in this room. This is just a drop down room, but you can find some loose valuables on this bed. Sometimes they can spawn underneath it, so give that bed a check. Then let's head back out this way, up these stairs. And you'll find some debris here. This is the last floor we're looking at, so let's open the third floor now. I believe in this this first room, number 3, there's some good med spawns. So right here, this time it was a injector. Of course, it spawned underneath the plate, so just be careful with that. Then you have more med spawns on the bed right here. Then you have more ration spawns, but also hideout spawns. I've seen fuel conditioners back here. And then I've also seen some buckwheat and some various ration spawns. Now for these next few rooms, you'll actually need a key for them. It's a pretty decent key because there's some valuables like some bitcoins and stuff like that littered throughout the floor. It's the iron gate key. So now that I have that, let's go and open these rooms up. I probably should have opened these beforehand. So in this room, littered throughout the floor, and sometimes you'll have to check behind these beds. Again, things can spawn underneath it, just like this. We have an example of something that spawns right here. So there's a morphine that spawned right under that bed. So check through those futons, those counters. Let's go ahead and open this one. Same thing here. Check throughout these mattresses for any valuables and behind them. You can find a lot of loose loot here. I found some GP coins, rollers, and stuff like that in this room. Then let's go ahead and check this one here. This one's good because you'll have loose medical loot. You have loose valuable loot. Expensive ration spawns. So we have a vodka here. You have room for more ammo here. You have dead scavs. Again, great looting container. So loot those dead scavs. And then check upon this bed. Some things can spawn. You don't want to miss those looting spots. And then this door doesn't require a key. It just brings us to the drop down that we saw earlier. An easier way to get back down to the second floor and perhaps out of this building. So this is the sequence of apartment buildings. I'm not sure what to call it. I guess the Iron Gate apartment buildings. That is halfway in between, again, the crane and the scav checkpoint key. A very good spot to check out for loot. Another looting location I want to talk about is the medical area and the Primorsky key, which is right here. So here we are. We're basically at the north end of the crash convoy. The crash convoy is just down that way. The sniper zone is just down that way, and the Primewood Hotel is just right here. So first we'll enter the green medical building, and in here, kind of like the building tells you, you can find a boatload of medical spawns. So all along these shelves here, I'll highlight them all with my flashlight. All along these shelves, you can find some great medical items. Right here is a med case, pretty good. All along back here, you can find assorted loose loot medical items. And then, actually, we'll even come into the office area back here. Not up here, not up here. Down this way towards the office area. So back here, you'll find more loose medical loot. You even find some computer spawns and some other various desk spawns. So you can find rations back here, or you even found some sugars. You'll find a PC block down that way. So this area is pretty good. If you're looking for meds, definitely worth stopping by. And then you have another area back here. So now we're going under the sky bridge marked with the big pirate hat. There's a dead scav right there. Definitely worth checking out while you're at it. And then once we pass underneath the sky bridge, we're going to hit this first door on our left. And that's because we're going to use the Primorsky, what's it called? Primorsky 48 key. So I've already opened the door, but I'll take us to it now. This is where the medical office would have led us. I just want to show you various ways to get into it. So this is the door we opened. So you can get here from the back of the med building or the other way I showed you. And we're going to go to the, I think this is the second floor up, but this is going to be room 6. I'm just going to show you. So door 6. So we're going to open this here on the second floor. And we're going to come to the last door. All these doors will spawn open, except for this one on the right. So let's go ahead and open this. And this is the one that requires the Primorsky 48 key. So upon entering the room here, we have just on our right on this table is a gold valuable spawn. So you can get like sheriff badges, gold chains, bitcoins, GB coins, stuff like that. On all of these shelves can spawn these. This can spawn some good tech items. All of these shelves here, we can see we have a cat up here, not part of the decor next to this Doge. So wherever you see Doge, give it a quick look. And then we have some rare valuable spawns on this table. And then we have some alcohol spawns, I guess I'll call it, on this surface right here. So you can find whiskeys up here, potentially even moonshine right up here. So definitely a neat little room, considering this key, I think, only cost me under around 15k at the time. Upon exiting the keyed room, in this room here, we have some ration spawns all littered throughout the table. And then in this room here, we have a red duffel bag. The next objective we have is the group of apartment buildings that is directly across the Primewood Hotel. So here we are on the north part of the map. Just down that way is the underpass extract and the sniper zone area. And just down this way to our right there is going to be the clinic that is up the street. And just over there is the Skybridge Gap. Now, I'm going to take us inside and I'm going to quickly run us through because I want to show you the other way to get in. So we're going to quickly run through here because you can also get into this building kind of from the scav checkpoint area. So here we are here. The playground is just over there. And just down that way, you'll notice is the scav checkpoint extract and even the scav extract. I think it's not the ventilation shaft, but it's one of them over there. Forget what it is off the top of my head. But anyways, let's go in and I'm going to show you where all this loot is. This is a fantastic place to loot. It is full of some of the best looting places in the game. Let's turn on our flashlight here. So the first room we initially came in, we have a filing cabinet and a dead scav. Make sure you loot that. And we also have a PC block just down that way. You'll see very quickly how packed this place is. So we have a few hideout items that can spawn in this cabinet. Then there's some very high value ration spawns littered throughout the floor here. As we can see, we have a sugar right there. Let's get into the remainder of this building. There's a lot to cover here. Sorry, get my directions confused here. We have a lot to cover here. These folders can spawn intel in them. These two blue, I don't know what do you call them, folder management holders, whatever. Anyways, in this room back here, we have more ration spawns. These can all be sugars, which is good. I've seen sausages spawn in here on this table and that table. So if you're looking for the Jaeger sausage, that is a good place for it. Always have to check these doors. Never figure out which ones are the ones you can open. But let's run down to the opposite side here through this door, because there's still more to the first floor that I want to show you here. So let's go in and see what doors are openable. I always forget. Here's one, because I do know what's in the room. Right here, right where this GP coin is, and these pigs having a great time, is a rare spawn. So this could be bitcoins, rollers, teapots, all that fun stuff. So make sure you check that. And then there's also PC blocks and a file cabinet right there. I don't think you can loot that jacket. Nope. But let's keep going now. So let's check each door just to make sure you don't miss anything. Because again, I never remember. So in this room, nothing that way. That leads to a different restaurant. Let's go up to the second floor now of this room. So when you're on this end of the staircase and you come across, the laptop and these blankets here, you can actually get graphics card spawn. There's 3 tech spawns, I believe. One here, one there, one there. Actually, there might even be 4. There might be 1, 2, 3, 4. And those could be graphics cards or other high valuable tech. So make sure you check those spots. Let's go into the second floor here. Beautiful. We have a dead scav here immediately. This, I will say, this building from this point out is going to be full of ammo spawns. I've walked out of here sometimes with 2 boxes of 120 BS rounds for 545, which is absolute insanity. So we have food spawns, but this could also be tech, high value rations, or meds. All types of good stuff can spawn here. We have a duffel bag. In here could be also another good tech or hardware item spawn. Things like your hideout, stuff like that. This weapon box, don't think it's accessible. We have another ammo box spawn. So many ammo box spawns. As we come up to the 3rd floor now, the first place I'm gonna take you guys is back here, and that's because we have 2 rooms back here, both full of loot. So make sure you check these spots. The first room on our right, we have right here, right where this teapot is. Right here are 2 high valuable spawns. I've gotten bronze lions, bitcoins, rollers, all types of stuff right here and right here. So this is an amazing spot to check out for loot. High value rations can spawn here on the table. Other hideout items. Then we have this middle room here. I love how this place requires no keys, by the way, really. You can have rare valuable spawns on this desk. You can see here, right through this book, we have an injector, so that's a very good loot spot. Right here, we have another injector spawn in the box. So this, these rooms are so packed full of loot, it's honestly insane. This here is another ammo box, but also high value ration spawn. You can get sugars here, you can get whiskey here. This time we got a vodka. In this room, literally all throughout the floor, you'll have more hideout items and ration spawns. So again, an amazing spot to loot. Now let's go and check the other room here across from us. And this room is more of the same. We have some very good hideout item spawns on the bed. Check those. We have ration spawns in here. We have a med crate in here. I haven't seen anything on this desk, but I'm always checking it to see if something spawns in these cabinets. I'll keep my eye on it for you guys, see what I can find. More ammo boxes here. We have a jacket that is lootable. So after we check all these amazing rooms back here, whoops, I went too far. Let's get into the rest of the 3rd floor. We have a toolbox here. This is going to be more the same like the 2nd floor at this point. This is a rare spawn. You can get rare valuables in here. Let's keep going. I always check the sides here. This is also a good spawn for hideout items and the occasional tech spawn. And here's a sport duffel bag. Right here on this shelf is a high value tech spawn, so you can get a GPU here. And other good tech items on this nice looking shelving unit there. And then finally, we're at the end. I don't believe there's anything up here. There's just, eventually this will just take you to rubble. So, a lot of great spots to loot this building. I'll show you, I'll just come down the staircase here, just to show you where we end up. So, we can go out this way, and we're back where we started. And this is an amazing series of loot, and I highly recommend, you check in this place. It's fantastic. So the next item we have on our list is the Primewood hotels. Not the greatest place to loot on the map. There certainly is loot here, and believe it or not, there's actually quite a bit of traffic up here. So it's up to you whether or not you want to add this to your loot run. But let's get into it. Let me show you where the good spots are. And you can decide for yourself, as is the point of this video. So we are at the north part. The one of the stairs to the underpass is right there. The other is just down that way. This is the north apartment buildings across the street from us. This is the major street down the middle, and we're essentially at that corner of the Primewood Hotel. So we're gonna go around the front way first. I think it's the best way to show you. And the first place we're going to come up to is the dental, okay? Now, I've already opened these doors. They spawn closed. The first place you want to check is always check behind the counters in these places. Usually there's some good valuables here or here that you might find. Now that we're in the dental, there's 3 big offices that you kind of want to focus on. One there, and here's the first one. And you essentially want to just be browsing all these shelves and all of these services here for meds. This is essentially your generic med spawn. So you'll see you'll have meds on here, and all of these shelves here. Sometimes they can be hard to see. They can be glitched into a container, or behind them, kind of like a Vaseline back there. Not easy to see. We got an IFAK this way. And then we have the last one just over here. So we have the bandage there. All of these surfaces, all of these surfaces, not the sink, not the sink. And all of this and all of this here. So check all of these surfaces on this chair as well for your med spawns. Now we're going to go out the same way we came in. So I'm just kind of going to browse these lower stores before I head up to the first floor or the second floor. This store here is a restaurant. I'm not going to take you through all of it because it's fairly simple. So all you have to do in this place, it's just food and ration spawn. So you can look for sugars in here. I'll walk in a little bit. So you can just check all of these surfaces here for food. So if you happen to need food, forgot to bring in food for the raid, come in here and check for food in all of these surfaces and all of these tables, and you should be good to go. So let's jump out this way. You'll also find whenever you see like these massive garbage piles, and occasionally on these tables, you'll see some ration spawns as well. So keep an eye out for those if you're really looking for those ration spawns. Let's go continue to the green room. So this is actually one of the spawns, if you'll recognize it. It's the one where you don't want to just run out the store because the sniper scav is that way. But behind this counter, essentially whoever spawns here gets these items for free. There are 2 valuable spawns. So whatever that chainlet is, and we have a pro kill right here, which is a very valuable necklace. Both of these spawns are valuable spawns for rollers, bitcoins, GP coins, those sort of things. So very good if you have access, or if you spawn here, make sure you check. Might as well check. Now let's walk up to the second floor here. We'll go down that way in just a minute, but we have a few spawns that we can talk about. There'll be some ration and hideout spawns on the couch. There is one in the box right here on the table. There's a dead scav. You definitely want to be looting that. I believe there's also a hideout spawn right here in this box right there. Now let's keep going. Let's keep going. I wish this place honestly was better, but anyways, we have more ration and hideout spawns on the couch. We have some more. This is just hideout spawns on these shelves here and on this box and in this box here. So where you'll find a lot of your mechanical items that could be valuable, like your bolts and your nuts. Anyway, sorry. So we have more ration spawns right here. This can spawn ration and/or tech. So this time we have epoxy and wires. And as we keep going down, we have a red duffel here. These 2 doors across from room 215 are closed. I think it's room 215 that is a keyed room. There's some decent loot in there. I believe it's also a quest room though. So the key is barter only and almost impossible to get. But anyways, in this room we have some valuables. That'll be loose loot, essentially, like ration spawns. They'll be up and around the bed here on the table and on these 2 chairs. Then we have a similar situation going on in here. There'll be some loose loot on the ground, on the chairs, and around the bed. But I've never seen anything too amazing on here. We have a water bottle there. But I'll keep checking. I'll keep my eye on these rooms to see if there's like something I'm missing about them. Then let's go down to the end here. We have not much on this side, but we do have more hideout spawns around this trash pile. Sometimes I've seen a propane up here. Now let's run all the way back down because there's one more place I have to show you guys. And that's the lower entrance to this part. You can actually get caught on that skateboard there, which is kind of funny. I've died trying to strafe down that hallway, and I got caught on the skateboard. So just keep that in mind. You absolutely can get caught on that skateboard. Anyways, let's continue walking down. You can find some meds, I believe, and some loose loot around these boxes. Let's go down here. Where on all of these sofas, I was gonna combine sofa and surfaces. Anyways, on all these big sofas, couches. You have a bunch of assorted ration / hideout mechanical spawns. We have cigarettes and tape and paid, I believe it is. You can check all of that. Check behind this counter for any valuables that might spawn in these drawers, because valuables tend to spawn behind these counters. And then I would also check this box back here in the garage, because fuel conditioner can spawn in it. So this is basically the Primewood Hotel. It's not the most densely placed in terms of loot, but it is a place where you can find some. So I'll leave that to you if you want to add that into your loot run. So the next place we have on our list is just outside the... I know it's very hard to tell right now, but of course we can't choose the weather. This is the Suva River extract where it goes down, basically the hole in the road. Here's the O-Bone grocery store. I know that's not what it's called, but I'm going to continue calling it that. And just down that way is towards the middle of the map. So we have, this is basically the edge of the industrial center. We have this massive yellow building. And then we have a few small surrounding buildings around it that I want to show you. So let's enter here. Immediately enter, we have this door on the left. This door spawns closed. I just opened it already. And then here we have a jacket, hardware items that can spawn all throughout these shelves, and a toolbox. Now continuing on to the back, we take the second left and we go up these stairs. And on our left, we have a kitchen room. Now, in here, you can find some pretty good ration spawns. Look for those, you know, sugars and things like that. And then down this way, the other end of the hallway, we have this, like, meeting room. And in here, you can get a lot of good high-value ration spawns and tech. Now, this time, of course, we see a lot of the ration spawns, but you can also get some pretty neat tech here. On the shelves, as well as some streamer items and valuables on that shelf and this shelf. As you can see right here, we have a Veritas guitar pick. I'm not gonna disrespect the name, okay? I promise. Actually, I'm a big Veritas fan. Anyway, let's head out this building now. Let's head out of this building now, and let's head out towards the back. And meeting the back will be in this alleyway here. We're gonna take a right, and we have this small little shack right beside the yellow building. I actually love this place because in here we have two jackets. I love jackets. We have an ammo box right here. These shelves here could all spawn like hideout items and hardware. And then we have in this room a med box, a valuable spawn right here on the table. I believe it's in the book, but it might be beside the book. And then we have another jacket here. So I love this place here, but there's more. I'm gonna sell it. I'm gonna sell it like those ShamWow commercials. Am I right? There's more, and there's actually another small little shack down this way that I also like to loot. Little two-story boy. And in here we have more hideout items that can spawn on the shelf here. I believe this is a technical supply crate. Yeah, perfect. So we can get things like, you know, bolts. This is a great one. That's a good one. Fuel. So a lot of good items in there. And then up top, I believe in this room, we have a duffel and loose hardware item spawns and ration spawns on the floor. So a nice little place to loot that isn't necessarily full of players. So it's a good spot. I'm a fan of this looting location. One of the last few places we'll be covering in this video is this yellow building here in front of me, and the industrial building. So here we are right outside the theater. The burned down house or damaged house is just down that way, and the industrial zone is just down this way. So what we're doing is we're gonna look for this door. It's the closest door to the theater next to the red couch here. It spawns closed. You'll have to open it, and then we get into this building here. Once we're inside, we have a duffel bag right there. And then immediately entering to our left, next left, we have a massive computer room. This room's very good. We have 3 filing cabinets right here. We have loose loot on the desks. You can find like loose graphics cards or ration spawns. Basically valuable tech loot. Another filing cabinet just down that way. These desks is a PC block there. I believe there's a PC block, yeah, just over in that corner. So it's a pretty dense room to hit that falls on the lower end side of traffic. Not as many people loot this area. And then exiting that building, we're going to exit this way, the room right next to the computer area, and this will take us to the industrial zone. So We're gonna enter through here. This is the other entrance, by the way. You could just go through the tunnel here, but I wanted to show you that yellow building because it's a pretty good building to hit up. Now we're entering the industrial building here. Actually, you know what? Let's start with the bottom floor. So we're gonna take a navigation through the bottom floor. The ground here can be scattered with hardware items and technical spawns. So keep an eye on the ground. Things like nuts, bolts, screwdrivers, all that stuff will kind of be littered out through this room. On the shelves here as well. On this conveyor belt, you can find some things. And then right here we have, I believe this is a technical supply crate, which is one of many, which is very good. So now let's go up these stairs. Here we are. So we have another technical supply crate right here. Yep, technical supply crate. Very nice. And then we'll run back this way, which I believe we'll find another technical supply crate. So 3 quick technical supply crates, which is amazing. Then you have all the possible hardware spawns that are throughout the ground and these shelves here in these lockers. And you'll even find some stuff littered throughout the rafters themselves. You'll find some items scattered around. Now we're gonna go to the back end. I'll show you the back end upstairs. I believe there is a door we can open. There is this room here, which just has more hideout spawns. As you can see, we have a WD-40 that way. So check this surface here, and then even these grounds here next to these rubble piles and around this bed. Things can spawn in the bed, so make sure you get your loot indicator, because half the time you'll be missing loot that is there, but you just can't literally physically see it. Anyways, same thing with this room. Stuff on the table, so we have screws there, stuff on the shelves, and then check the surrounding floors. And then we come to this last room here. So stuff on the rafters, again, you can see. But we're now going to go to the marked room drop down. So you go through the hole in the wall on the south end of the industrial building. Go up to the 3rd floor. And then you're going to go out this hole in the wall. I'm actually going to use a Propofol here just in case I sustain any injuries messing this jump up. I haven't seen too many things in this room, so I think it's mostly, you can mostly ignore it. Perhaps there is some loose loot on the table here, and maybe around the computer. But once you're up here, you want to jump on this unit here. That's how I do it, and then you want to slowly walk to the left until you can. And as soon as you fall here, you want to hit right, and then now we have fallen into the marked room. So the marked room is amazing. It works kind of like how all the other marked room works. I guess the customs one will be the best because the reserve ones seem to be worse. But they can spawn anything like valuables, guns, cases. Very good loot in here. We have a PM pistol, not the best thing ever, but they also have a weapon box here, loose loot on the shelves, and then an additional weapon box there, and a camera if you want to record it all. I will say, a lot of people know about this now, so sometimes you'll even have people who get in first, and then they just sit here and crouch. And they wait for you to jump through the window, and they'll just blast you. So keep in mind that if you're not first here, that's a possibility. Let's exit this building. You don't want to jump out this window, because you can fall and break your legs. Jump out the middle window here. You can see we hop right over it. We'll land on this. And then we'll, you can land on that, or you can land on the stairs. This is a bit of less of a fall, so you can go off the stairs here, and then you're good to go. So you can also enter the marked room building from, I believe there's a hole in the wall right here. Yeah, so this will take you to the 1st floor. You just got to run up these stairs, and then you'll hit the marked room. So this is an amazing area. However, I will say it's pretty heavily trafficked, and I'm sure you can tell by the score, but definitely a great area to loot. Last but not least, we have the theater area in Tarkov. Kind of between the, this is the sewer extract just down there where the road caves in, and just over there is the theater. We're looking for this door. It has all the graffiti around it. There's a bloody dinosaur right there. I love saying that. That's my favorite call out. And it's very easy to know that this is the door because it's see-through, it's open. You can see inside the building. You'll see this hanging man. Very nice, very lovely. Great atmosphere in this room. But let's start off with some good loot spawns, shall we? So Immediately entering, we have this desk here which spawns valuables. So they can spawn in the books and underneath these binders, so make sure you get that loot indicator, but you can get gold chains, rollers, anything like that behind this desk. Now we're gonna go upstairs here. Once we're up here, we enter this massive like room area. I don't know why I call it a theater, but it's just a big ass room. I believe this is a technical supply crate. Yes, it is. On these surfaces, we have loose loot. This could be advanced tech. You could get graphics cards. You could also get very rare, maybe not very rare, but rare high value ration spawns. And then we have, this is what I call my lucky duffel bag. I've gotten multiple graphics cards in this bag. Nothing this time, but I always check it. Then we have loose loot around here. You can get meds on these chairs. You can get loose loot on the floor here as well, so keep an eye out for that. They have a weapon box just about right there. Not sure why I have weird health problems right now. No idea, to be honest. Oh, from the Propital. Thank you. That's right. And then in this area here on the green tarp, we have hideout items and rare ration spawns. You can get sugars, or you can also get like nuts and bolts, things like that right here. And then we'll come down these stairs. I don't believe anything is back here, but out the back here you can see we are taken back into the alleyway. Right there is the, I think you can breach these doors open, yeah. And right back there is the industrial building. And this is the bloody dinosaur that we saw at the start. So I like to loot that area. It isn't as trafficked, and if you're ever, you know, making your way towards the extracts down on this part of the map, feel free to run through that open room theater place I call, because odds are it hasn't been hit yet. Welcome back to the map, everyone. I hoped all of you found the loot locations part of the video very helpful, and it's at this point where I want to just give a quick shout out to my Twitch channel. I stream during the week. Most days, twitch.tv/SillyNetwork. I would love for you to stop by and say hey, and also feel free to ask me about any in-depth questions on any of these scores that I have on each of these zones. I'm gonna go over them briefly just because I don't want to take all of your time, but if you have any questions about my scores, or maybe you think you have a different rating for any of these areas, feel free to throw them in the comments, or I would love for you to come into my Twitch channel and ask me live. Also, a like on this video wouldn't hurt. It took a wild amount of work to put all this together, and I would really appreciate that bump in the algorithm. Let's look at these locations here. The reason why I decided to go this route for this loot video, I wanted to see, first of all, how you guys would like it, but also, a lot of the times, you know, you might not spawn where a loot route starts. So what do you do then, right? Oh, you can do it. You can do the loot run backwards, but this way, no matter where you spawn, or even if you scav in, you can always throw together a loot run based on this map and the loot videos I've already showed you. So let's quickly go through them. I'll try to be quick and brief. Sparja store, this has a PvP score of 5, mainly because it's near the Lexos. You're most likely not gonna see a lot of action inside the Sparja itself, but because it is by the Lexos and the crane, and there's a few spawns down here, depending on when you hit it, I'll give it a PvP score of 5. The Lexos, it's a 10. Should be pretty obvious to most people. It's in the middle of the map. It also has a loot score of 10. So just due to the fact that there's so much loot here is obviously gonna bring the PvP, but also it's near, if you look around it, the Convoy is a solid 9 in terms of loot. We get the Iron Gate Apartments, also a 9. All of this is a massive cluster of great loot. So the PvP here is gonna be a lot, and you can tell with the Iron Gates at 9 and the Convoy also at a 9 in terms of PvP. We have Concordia. The PvP score is a 7, and that's simply because of the spawns. Again, it's close to a lot of spawns, but not everyone has the keys yet. And not everyone tends to loot this place if they don't have them, or scavs don't have the biggest incentive to come down this way because the 2 best rooms or best places here are keyed rooms. So I'll give that a PvP score of 7. The Fallen Crane, that's going to be an 8 just due to the proximity to the Lexos, the Iron Gate Apartments. Both of these places are big areas, and because the Crane, you're kind of surrounded by these spawns here, and this spawn up by the infantry vehicle that's up that way. So that's going to get an 8. Iron Gate's Apartments, I've already talked about it a lot of times. The loot is amazing there, so therefore the PvP is going to be a lot, but it's only 8 for a loot score of 9. So there is, like, it's a hard place to pass. It's such a good amount of loot here. The Convoy, it's a loot score of 9 because the dead scavs, although they are the best, in my opinion, the best, if not one of the best containers to loot in the game, sometimes they could hit you with bad RNG. It's possible, right? But there's also a bunch of med and military spawns littered throughout all of these cars and the weapon boxes, so the loot score is great. The PvP score is a fat 10 because you're in the middle of the map with almost no cover because people could be coming from any of the districts. I mean, you're in the dead center of the map. Of course, the PvP score, that's going to be a 10. This is probably if you're not a player scav, honestly, because player scavs are running all throughout this area, by the way, and the Sparja. If you're not a player scav, this area is just chaos. You're gonna be getting shot at by something as a PMC this way. The pharmacy and the Prim 48 key, PvP score of 2. I very rarely ever get into fights looting either of those 2 places. The only place you run into is when you start getting back out towards the middle of the map. If you kind of bob and weave throughout these back alleys and access the buildings that way, once inside, you're probably not going to run into PvP. I haven't yet of all my raids there. Of course, around you, of course, yes. But PvP score of 2 for loot 7, that's because the Prim 48 key is actually a really great key, and meds are just extremely valuable no matter which way you look at it, because everyone needs meds, and you go through meds a lot doing a lot of PMC raids. So on top of them just being expensive and profitable. So loot of 7 and a PvP score of 2. This area right here is one of the best spots to loot in terms of how much loot there is and the relative safety, depending on which way you're accessing this pharmacy here. Then we have the North Apartments. A fat loot score of 10. There's so much loot. Multiple people can loot this and be okay with the amount of loot they got. But a PvP score of 8. And this is pretty good because there's only like a few spawns that get early access to this building. So if you spawn here, you can probably rush it and loot this up quick. Before some of the other spawns. I mean, of course, there's always going to be extremes where people rush certain things, and that's hard to time effectively, but the loot score is a fat 10. There's so much loot here, and again, the PvP, as I was saying, you can get in here and be looting pretty quick. So, depending on the spawn and what point in the raid it is, you have a solid chance of being able to loot a lot of these good areas and dipping without seeing anyone. That being said, it's still an 8. So there's still going to be people drawn to this area, and that's because the loot is just so darn good. Let's talk about the Primewood Hotel here. This is a mediocre spot simply because there's a lot of spawns. Then you have 2 extracts over here, Kilmov and the Underpass. Those are pretty big extracts. A lot more people bring the flares than you think because it's just a reliable spawn. So they always, if you're street mains, I guess you can say, will bring flares for the Kilmov Street. So don't underestimate the usefulness of this extract. So a lot of activity here with all the spawns. You can see them here. You have the spawns in this corner. That for some reason isn't labeled. Let's not get into that. There's a spawn over here, then you have some spawns this way you see. Then you have these spawn behind the portable. So just due to the spawn presence and the extracts, people are going to be up here, and the loot isn't necessarily that great to reflect it. And the loot's also gonna take a little hit. Maybe it'd be a 6, but I'm gonna put it down to 5 because the best room here is a barter only key that is very hard to get. So all in all, it's not a terrible spot. There is loot here, but just depending on if you're looking for PvP or not, you might go here or you might skip it. The small shack and office, PvP score of 5. You do get into the occasional fight around here, and that's because it is next to the factory area and the marked room, and that's where a majority of the traffic is going to be. So 5, because in the buildings themselves, you don't see a lot of action, but there is a possibility due to proximity. But the loot here is very good. A lot of nice loot spots. So great place. I like to loot. The theater room, I love this place. The loot isn't amazing, but it's almost always unlooted. And I do get my lucky graphics card duffel that I really like to loot in there. So loot score of 5, almost next to no PvP. You also have the valuable spawns behind the desk, and the PvP score of 2 simply because it's again next to the march room and industry area here, which is the next one we're going to be talking about, industry and computer room. I should also add the march room to this, but PvP score of 9 because of the march room and just how good the loot is outside of the march room even. There's a medical crates, a lot of technical supply crates, loose loot everywhere. So this is good loot, but lots of traffic as well. Usually there's always some corpses around here. The last place we'll talk about here, Yellow House, PvP score 4 simply because it's next to the Lexos, but inside the house is relatively safe. So I'll put a PvP score of 4 and a fat 7 for the loot because it's full of med spawns, loose weapon attachments, ammo, and a million. I think there's like maybe 6, 7, almost, it could be even be 10. It's hard to keep track of all of the filing cabinets in there for loot. So great spot there. Anyways, that just about wraps up this guide video. Let me know what you thought. I really want to know if you like this. I could still cover specific loot routes on Streets if you want to see, a first-person POV. I can always post some raids for you guys to see. And more than that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.